Okay, in this session, we're going to discuss integrity constraint on relations. Okay, integrity constraints on relations. Already we know what do you mean by relation. Relation is a we call table, right, or entity. In a different languages we used to call SQL table, and relations we have relation, and in database we call entity. Okay, so all together we can call as it's a collection of records with related information, right? Now when you move on to the integrity constraint or relations on relations, the first one is key constraint. Okay, first one is a domain constraint. We used to say domain constraint, like domain constraint are the most elementary form of integrity constraint. Okay, domain constraint is the basic one. What this domain constraint is nothing but it is a most elementary it means elementary form of integrity constraint. Okay, they are tested easily by the system whenever new data item is entered into the system. Okay, when it will be encountered means whenever new data is entered into the system, or new item or data new data item is entered into the system, by that time it will be encountered. The domain means which domain, whether we're going with airline domain system or reservation system, or whether you're going for library system. Okay, we will going to decide which domain we are going to set it. Okay. Based on that, the constraint will be obtained. Okay, that is called domain constraint. So second one is key constraint. Okay, this is important one, key constraint. Okay, here the concept of super key will be studied. Super key and candidate key and primary key. Okay, these are the various keys will be discussed along with foreign key. Okay, so we have foreign key also. Foreign key. Okay, this is very important topic. Like in future we will be using this one in relational algebra as well as SQL. Okay, structured query languages. Key constraint is a statement that a certain minimal subset of the fields of a relation is a unique identifier. Okay, super key or key is a which is a unique attribute for any relation, and that statement, key constraint statement, is a certain minimal subset of fields. A relation is in a unique identifier for a tuple. Okay, again tuple means which is a row. Okay, for each student, if when you take a student relation, one student, that is one row, that's called one tuple. One student information, the entire information we can use to call tuple. Okay, so even if you want, I'll write it and I'll show you. Let us take, this is the student table or a relation. In this I used to say the name, USN, age, branch and all. Okay, name, USN, age, branch, okay, address and so on. Let us take ABC is a one student name and 123 is a other USN, 21 is age, and it belongs to CSC. Okay, this is one tuple. Okay, and attributes are called, okay, this Okay, attributes and tuples. Okay, key constraint is a statement for individual tuple of a unique identifier of the tuple. Okay. Example here is key constraint which is unique in the nature. Okay, best part of this tuple is USN. USN cannot be repeated in the same, like it will not be repeated in the same table. Okay, when you take student relation, the constraint that number of two students have the same student ID, SID, these can be classified into three types as follows. One is candidate key, super key, and primary key. If suppose any student which is having two similar keys, okay, like key 1 and key 2, like let us take USN and registration number. Let us take another, it might be 1000, okay, registration number, and this can be a candidate key and this can be a primary key. Okay, both we can call as a candidate keys. Okay, key or candidate key. When you have multiple keys, unique keys, so then it will be encounters. Okay, so yeah, based on this key, we have three types: candidate key, primary key, and super key. What do you mean by candidate key or a key? A set of fields that uniquely identifies a tuple according to a key constraint is called a candidate key. A set of fields. Okay, let us take, these are the many fields we have in the table that uniquely identifies a tuple. Okay, USN is the one which is used to identify a student, because we cannot call name. Maybe names are repeated in the same class, but USN is does not repeated in the same class. Okay, even roll numbers or registration number also cannot be repeated. Okay, these two keys we can call as a candidate key. Okay, and when you come to super key, the set of fields that contains a key is called a super key. Now, in candidate key, we used to call USN is a super key because which is uniquely identified. The alternate one is registration. We don't want in the super key, when you find out super key, we don't want to find the candidate key in the same field. Okay. When you have a set of one or more attributes that allows us to identify uniquely an entity in the entity set, the super key is the one which specifies uniqueness constraint that no two distinct tuples can have the same. Okay, like when you have 1000 is another one, then it will not be considered as a candidate key. Okay, that is also should be a uniquely identified one. Okay. So next is primary key. This is also a candidate key whose values are used to identify tuples in a relation. Okay, even the primary key is nothing but a key attribute or candidate key you can call. Okay, because which is used to again identify a tuple in the relation, uniquely identify tuple in a relation. Okay, best example is USN or student ID. Okay. Again, we have foreign key, so that is called a referential integrity constraint. When you had foreign key, that used to call referential integrity, because when you have student and department, okay, so this department number, that student belongs to which department, okay. So this is a branch ID, and department ID will be there, like CS01 we can call. Okay, that when you take department, because the student details will be available in the department, right? So D name, CSE, and D number, department number, and location, and we can call grades. What is the grade, highest grade or lowest grade we got? Okay, all these are called. CSE 01 is the this one. is a foreign key in the student relation and the primary key in the department relation. This is called referential integrity constraint. Okay, so this is another constraint, types of integrity constraints. Okay, last one is referential integrity constraint. So integrity constraint. Okay. Okay, then we'll stop it here and we'll move to the next topic in the next session. Okay, thank you.